You know what sucks? Being the best in the world at something and it being utterly unmarketable. I am an incredible mime. I can fake climbing a rope like you wouldn't believe, but mimes don't rake in the cash like they used to. And busking is hard. On a good day, I might take in $30. No matter how many walls I'd walk into or jump ropes I'd skip, my act just wasn't making money. I was going to lose my apartment. I'm crediting my desperation for me not noticing how creepy the man was. I guess when your diet mostly consists of 99-cent tacos, you don't think twice when you get offered magic gloves. But he said they'd make me put on my most memorable show ever, so I took them. The next day, I set down my money bucket, slipped on the gloves, hit the play button on my stereo, and got to work. I started with the rope climb. Then something amazing happened. As I closed my hands around the invisible rope, my fingers latched onto something solid. I could feel the rope in my hands. I gave it a strong pull. My feet came off the ground, and I hung there, dangling from a rope that wasn't there. It was incredible. And I was rewarded by the sound of clapping and applause. A small crowd had gathered, staring in wonder as I hung in midair. So I continued my show. I sat on chairs that weren't there, leaned impossibly against walls. I even rode an invisible bike through the ever-increasing crowd to uproarious cheers. And my money bucket was filled with cash. And then I tried the classic, the invisible box. I crouched and stretched out my hands, feeling the walls around me. I faked hysterics as I pounded on the walls. The crowd loved it. I gave a flourish of my hands to the crowd and got up from my crouch. And my head slammed into the ceiling. I stifled a yell. The crowd laughed. I put my hands out and pushed on the invisible walls, but they wouldn't budge. I began to pound and kick and slam myself against the walls of my invisible prison, but nothing worked. I tried to take the gloves off, but it was like they were fused to my skin. I gave up the mime shtick and yelled for help, but my mouth produced no sound. Then the walls began moving inward. I tried to brace myself against them as the box grew smaller and smaller. The crowd cheered loudly as I pushed with all my might, trying to stop the wall's terrible advance, until I could feel it on every side, squeezing in on me like a vice. And as my breath left me and my bones cracked, and as the jubilant laughter of the crowd turned to terrified screaming, I couldn't help but think that this was definitely my most memorable show ever.